And now to the cause of much of the travel mayhem that we're discussing right now, the massive winter storm that's slamming upstate New York.
These pictures are just so dramatic still. President Biden approving the state's emergency declaration yesterday. That means that New York is now going to receive some extra help, especially in the way of money from FEMA.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is December 27, 2022. Buffalo, New York looks like a third world country. It is still in utter chaos. There's panic, looting at storefronts. There's running out of food, water, key supplies. Even a subscriber here at AMTV says he actually is a snowblower and he was basically locked in his house the last 3 days. So it's not hyperbole. The fears aren't overblown. It really is an end of days World War Z type scenario in Buffalo. So prayers that way, and please pray for everybody involved. But also want to talk about, I thought this was a very interesting article today. This came out from Russia's Medvedev, warning that a fourth to be made up of Germany and Poland. This is courtesy of the mainstream media, the Jerusalem Post. Medvedev made a list of 10 predictions he has for 2023 on Twitter. This also includes the collapse of the US dollar, a move to Asia, and the loss of petrodollar supremacy. So I wanted to go through this list and hear what you guys think about this. He says, quote, the fourth will be created encompassing the territory of Germany and its satellites, Poland, the Baltic states, Czechia, Slovakia, the Kiev Republic, and other outcasts. Former president of Russia and staunch supporter of the war in Ukraine on Monday night. This was the fourth of a list of 10 predictions Medvedev made for 2023, which he shared on Twitter. His economic predictions include this, that oil prices will rise to $150 a barrel, gas prices will top $5 per 1 cubic meters, so expect more inflation. He also claimed that all the largest stock markets and financial activity will leave the US and Europe and move to Asia. I think that's already happening. I actually agree with that. He also further stated that the Bretton Woods system of monetary management will collapse, leading to the IMF and World Bank crash. Euro and dollar will stop circulating as the global reserve currencies, and digital fiat currencies will replace them and be actively used instead. Now, I basically agree with all of that, and I'm not a Russiophile. I don't necessarily agree, just because it's a Russian official saying this, but I think this is pretty much all happening. Like, this is what I've been warning you about. Like, this is all a part of the engineered crises to lead us into a new system where the BRICS lead and the West falls. And it's a reorganization of the whole system and the global order, monetary, financial policy, and so much more. He says when it comes to European relations, he claims that the UK will rejoin the European Union. There's also a likelihood that that will happen, leading to its downfall. He says the EU will collapse after the UK's return. Euro will drop out of use as the former EU currency. He said that Poland and Hungary will take control of western parts of what he says is the formerly existing Ukraine, while Northern Ireland will separate from the UK and join the Republic of Ireland. He also has a very stark prediction for the fall of America. He says, relating to the U.S., that we are in a civil war and that it'll break out soon in the coming year in 2023. He also claimed that California and Texas will break apart from the rest of the country and become independent states. He says, quote, Texas and Mexico will form an allied state. He claimed Elon Musk will win the presidential election in a number of states, which after the new civil wars end, will have been given to the GOP. Now, some of this kind of sounds like a little outlandish. I'd like to hear your comments and question on this, but like, is he getting anything wrong here? Because it kind of sounds like the current state of affairs. Like, look at how geopolitically unstable the world is. Look how much hyperinflation there is. Look how ideologically we are already arguably in a civil war in America. I mean, look, our politicians can't even stop looters ransacking in a snowbound Buffalo as they search for supplies. Like, what is this, a third world country? We have Taiwan here extending its mandatory military service to combat a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. We see after deadly Buffalo blizzard, families scramble to find food and essentials. China just recently sent 71 new warplanes. Let me turn off my ad blocker here. 7 warships toward Taiwan in the last 24 hours, escalating tensions. We have the U.S. stock market collapsing. Tesla's down 72%, I believe, in the last year, hitting a new 52-week low. Pessimism is at an all-time high. Real wages and income growth is declining while all the real wealth is being transferred to the financial elites. And now, not only that, in addition to Medvedev's stark, really dark predictions, we're on the verge of a new war. A second war is threatening to explode, according to Yahoo News, not just in Ukraine, but Serbian President Alexander Vučić says this week puts his army on the highest level of combat readiness to protect ethnic Serbian areas in northern Kosovo he says are under threat from Kosovo. He says his military will take all measures to protect our people and preserve Serbia. So Sunday reports of a shooting near a NATO peacekeeping patrol unit set off the latest wave of tensions. We see here, and we've had previous tensions in this area, previous wars. So now we have another flashpoint. In addition to other flashpoints I've been very concerned about, for example, like India and Pakistan. Serbia places security forces on Kosovo border at state of full combat readiness. So, you know, it kind of sounds like Medvedev here is pretty much on target. And maybe it's a little extreme saying that it's the fourth be made up of Germany and Poland, or maybe it's not. You know, we've seen a lot of liberty and freedom taken from people in recent years. Massive economic, financial shocks, travel prohibition, kids removed from schools, the loss of a lot of civil liberties under the guise of an emergency event. So, I mean, look, guys, I don't necessarily disagree with these predictions. So, is there going to be any kind of peace in Ukraine? We talked about this yesterday. I mean, it's possible, but only if Ukraine and the West accepts the new territory that Putin has taken. Putin has said he's not going to negotiate peacefully, and he's actually calling up and sending more reservists into the region, and he continues to launch attack after attack through the holidays. So as all this builds up into the world's largest economic financial collapse, there is a real threat that more wars will emerge, that not only the US dollar is going through its financial reset, which they told us that we're going to do, that the Eurozone disintegrates and fails, which I've predicted for years because, of course, the Eurozone is a failed experiment. So is the Euro. If the UK does, in fact, join the European Union again, there is a high likelihood that the whole system breaks down. And as his final prediction says, predicting the fall of America and really civil war that will result in California and Texas leaving the Union, and even potentially the rise of a very new controversial figure that the mainstream media doesn't seem to like in the name of Elon Musk, that maybe might be running for president. And I've asked this question before, but it kind of looks like Elon Musk is pivoting for some kind of presidential run in 2024, building a coalition with Twitter and basically taking control of a large part of the social milieu mainstream media. Anyways, I'd like to hear what you think. Get ready, stay prepared. Prayers to everybody out in the Buffalo area. 2023, I don't think they're going to let up 1 inch. I think it's going to be even scarier, honestly, in 2023. I'm not expecting any kind of let up. I'm expecting full-blown war, conflagration, economic, financial collapse into the petrodollar, bank runs, capital controls. I've been telling you guys, buy gold, get out of the banks, buy Bitcoin, buy Island Project, build your parallel economies now before it's too late. You really need to own this stuff like silver, which I think is going to go sky high in 2023, and also gold, which I think is going to possibly break records, maybe even hit as high as 4,000 or 5,000 an ounce in 2023. Anyways, prayers be with you. Jesus Christ is King. Remember, the government rests on the shoulders of God. He's in control. This is all part of his plan, but you better be ready. Just like Noah built his ark, I encourage you to build yours. Links below. That's amtvgold.com. Place your order now.